can write a blog post about an individual article, but you can also, and that's often more useful, write up a blog post about a number of articles combined, because you don't generally generate impacts, whether academic or societal impact, by doing one article on a particular topic. You create impact by having a research stream on a particular topic. So there are a lot of different outlets for blog posts. You can open your own blog. There are plenty of platforms out there that allow you to do this, as WordPress or Blogger, but that's a big commitment. You can also start small by posting on, for instance, Medium, which is a collective blogging platform where you have your own corner. But for all of these, you might see your contributions drown in a sea of lifestyle blogs. So if you don't have an established academic profile yet, you're much better off writing for an established academic blog. If you work in the social sciences, you can also try the LSE blogs. LSE has no less than 60 different blogs, including LSE Business Review, British and European Politics and Policy, Behavioral Science, Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. Some of my own posts on my own blog were reprinted on the LSE Impact in the Social Sciences blog. Another option is The Conversation, which posts news stories and commentaries that are based on research. It's very well respected, and increasingly journalists go there for accessible summaries to research, which they then write up in a more traditional newspaper. So it creates a multiplier effect. If you do find it too hard to get accepted on these external blogs because your research doesn't quite fit, you can also simply write up an article on LinkedIn. And doing a series of these will allow you to build up a public profile here. So here are a few examples of blog posts on single articles on my blog. They were all written as guest posts by my co-authors or Cigna members. I also have quite a lot of posts on my website on research streams. For instance, I've done quite a bit of work on response styles and international mail surveys. Given that I am an international business scholar and this was not something that was generally recognized in my field, I did quite a bit of research on this. So I wrote up all the studies, and I also refer to some useful methodological articles in international business. So altogether, the post would be something that people can draw on if they do research on international business. Then, as responses also differ depending on whether the questionnaires are distributed in someone's native language or in English, I had another stream of research on that, which I also wrote up as a blog post. Then I've also done a lot of research on rankings, journal rankings, university rankings, rankings of individual academics, but also on the data sources and metrics used on these rankings. So again, I wrote up a blog post summarizing 9 articles on this topic. And doing a post like this works really well if you're not just wanting to share your research, but also do further research on the topic. Now, one of my co-authors, Helene Tenzer, works on multilingual teams, and she's published a couple of articles for different elements of multilingual teamwork, and has briefly summarized each of them and has used this blog post to go to companies. And all of her work is interview based, so to be able to go to companies and to say, this is the work I've been doing, is quite useful. They're much more likely to read a blog post than her academic articles, and with this she can give a quick introduction about her research, and they can see she's actually done quite a few things in the area, and thus they're more likely to let her in and give her a chance to interview her for the next project. Now, on the previous slide, I showed you some examples of blog posts on my own website. Here are some blog posts on other blogs. First of all, MDX Minds, which is the Middlesex University blogging platform. Then LSE blogs. As I mentioned, there are about 60 different ones. I have posted about half a dozen times on the LSE Impact blog. Then I mentioned The Conversation. We have about a dozen academics who've published there. And here is an example from one of our colleagues in ACI. Finally, I mentioned LinkedIn. My business school colleague, Nico Pizzolato, has published about a dozen articles on topics related to academic writing and research skills, which fit very well with his role as director of doctorate programs.